Welcome to the Efficientpreneur Show with Ahmed Al-Karemli, where you learn how to build and scale your business profitability online with less time, effort, and cost, so you can enjoy a fulfilling lifestyle.
Hi everyone, AK here, and welcome to the Efficientpreneur Show. Today I have with me Jason Swenk. He is an expert in helping digital agencies to build and scale their business efficiently. Welcome to the show, Jason.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Pleasure. So what's your background? How did you start in this business?
Yeah, well, I kind of got all the businesses I've had, I've kind of fallen into them by accident. You know, in 1999, I created a digital agency kind of by accident because one of my friends looked like a famous person, Justin Timberlake, and created a fake band, fake website, kind of making fun of him. And then people asked me to design websites, and just started growing that over the years and grew that business for 12 years until, you know, selling that. And then took a couple years off trying to figure out what I needed to do. And then I was just lucky enough that my old agency competitors started reaching out and was like, hey, how'd you work with Lotus Cars and Hitachi, and how'd you grow a big agency, and how'd you sell it? And just started helping them out and loved it and created another business from that.
So you were focused on what kind of activities, like doing ads, running ads for clients, doing the websites, or like what kind of activities?
Yeah, so we would do their websites. So we do websites, we do branding, we do social CRM. You know, we were a full service agency, you know, with a little over 100 people, so we could do a lot. Facebook ads didn't exist then, right? Not until, you know, after we sold, but we did a lot of AdWords and SEO, and, you know, it was a lot of fun.
Most customers were doing, like you were doing for them, website design, web design?
Yeah, well, you think about, you know, going back to 99, no one really had websites.
Okay.
And, you know, people wanted to, you know, build that next .com. And then obviously in, 2001 after 9/11, you know, the .bomb happened. And then that actually helped us out because a lot of the bigger agencies at a time went out of business, and we were small, and we were able to start leveraging, you know, our strengths and really start getting the bigger clients and just build the team from there.
Why you decided to sell it? In 2012 you sold it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right time, right offer. You know, we built the agency up to, you know, over 8 figures, and right offer, right time. I wanted to do something different, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. But, you know, like I knew I wanted to do something different. It's kind of like finishing a long race. Like I felt like I finished the long race, but I don't want to do that race again.
Is it because, like, how do you compare the lifestyle of running an agency with over 100 people in comparison with your current lifestyle?
You know, well, toward the end of running the agency with a lot of people, it's not much that a difference because I had the right systems in place, so I could do what I wanted, and I could work on the stuff that I wanted to do, where I had people actually executing on the stuff I wasn't good at and what I didn't want to do. And that's kind of how it is now. You know, obviously, I'm not putting out as many fires as before, right? Because, you know, you got a lot of people. There's always lots of problems that have to kind of filter to you that you have to fix. But now, you know, it's really amazing with the technology and the way that we can reach people all over the world. I mean, just like as we're doing this interview, you're on the other side of the world, you know, from me. And, you know, it's just, you know, I have clients all over. It's just, I still can't comprehend how cool of a time we live in, and how far our reach can actually go.
So after you sold it in 2012, you continued to learn the new marketing tools and techniques to, you know, or like you sat for like a year figuring out what you're going to do next, or like you just switched off and, you know, one day you decided that you help other agencies. This episode is brought to you by the Efficientpreneur Club. The Efficientpreneur Club is a private and affordable one-on-one business coaching club for business owners and entrepreneurs who want to build and scale their business profitability and performance with less time, effort, and cost, and without risking their freedom. So whether you are still figuring out the right business model, strategy and pricing, or you need help to improve your funnels, ads, sales and conversion, then the Efficientpreneur Club is for you. Your business challenges are not going to fix themselves unless you fix them today. And the consequences of not addressing that today is your business profitability and performance will not improve, and your relationships and health will continue to be affected. It's no wonder that building and scaling a business becomes so stressful over time, but it doesn't have to be that way. The Efficientpreneur Club will help you take your business to the next level with a private and affordable one-on-one coaching with me personally, tailored to your unique needs. I will help you clarify your direction, set a strategic action plan, and guide you step by step to build and scale your business efficiently. The Efficientpreneur Club will also provide access to an extensive how-to video library, the most highly recommended tools, and a supportive community of like-minded business owners to help you along the way with feedback, encouragement, and advice. The Efficientpreneur Club is the perfect place to be if you want to maximize your profits, minimize your workload, and scale your freedom and efficiency. So check it out at efficientpreneurclub.com and say bye-bye to generic courses, secretive gurus, and expensive mentors.
Well, I started designing an iPhone app that took pictures of everything that you ate and gave you a visualization so you could actually make better decisions with your food choices. But I realized that, when running the agency and going a service-based business, I always thought the grass was greener on the other side, right? Like I had friends of mine that created great, amazing technologies, and it just looked like a lot of fun. And when I started developing the app and actually marketing it, and it's just like you have to put so much effort into just, you have to get millions of people to download the sucker versus going after, 100 companies, right? And I didn't like it. And so I shut that down, and then I was just kind of messing around. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I was looking for the signs of going, what am I put on this earth to do? What do I have passion for? What do I have expertise on? What do I know? And I was just lucky enough that I was looking for the signs, and when people started reaching out, I enjoyed it, and I got significance back, right? So when I sold my business, I had success in everybody's eyes, and I had short-term success for myself, right, in my eyes. But I wasn't being able to be significant to anybody anymore. And that was a big thing that was making me depressed after I sold, because I didn't feel like I was growing. I didn't feel like I was building. I just felt like I was deteriorating because I felt like I reached the top of the mountain. That was it. And, that just going back to it, I'm like, I get the chills.
You
I'm
never thought about it before selling, like what's going to happen? No. Or what you just wanted to, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
I just looked at the money and go, I can buy anything I want. And then I'm like, okay, there's a lot more, right? And then I start realizing there's a lot of rich people that are really, really depressed. And money's not everything, right? Correct. You have to have growth. You have to have community. You have to have contribution. You have to have significance in order to really, enjoy life. Because it's not about running a business, and we don't run a business just to run a business. Who cares about that? But it has to have some other kind of purpose behind it.
So how do you clarify that now with the new, people who want to build the new agencies? I read some of your steps. The first step is to clarify. So how do you clarify that for them, or what kind of type or type of agencies that you advise them or give them option to take action on?
Well, everybody has to come up with himself on the clarity, right? I always love the internet spammers out there that say, pick this niche, and this is the most profitable niche, and this is the vision, and this is the reason why you need to go do stuff. And it's total BS. The owner has to come up with that. But think about when most people get into their business, it's by accident, kind of like how I got in an accident by this and the agency. So for a number of different years, you're just being reactive to the business coming to you. And you don't really kind of start clarifying, where do you want to go? Why do you want to do it, right? And really find your purpose, find your really look at your core values and have that self-awareness in order to really use that as the North Star, the thing that's pulling you to where you need to go, right? So, like, for example, the thing that we're building now is we want to be the number one resource in the world for agency owners. And the reason why is I wanted to create a resource that I wish I had, because I remember how alone and isolated I felt. So that is our steering direction. Like, that is the way we can do a course correction, and I can give the power to my team in order to do that. And I even give the power to my team to call BS on me. So, like, for example, we were developing a podcast or a blog post on the top marketing agency conferences that agency owners need to go to. And they listed about 3. I'm like, no way, don't list these people. Like, I hate these people. Like, don't list them. And my team was like, they're actually good conferences for agency owners. Can you give us that? I'm like, yes. Then why don't you want to list them? I'm like, because they're jerks. I don't like them. They're like, it's not about you. I'm like, yep, you're exactly right. Put the jerks in the post.
Okay. So the next step, how they do the positioning for themselves? How do you advise them to position themselves?
Yeah, so everybody always talks about themselves. And it's kind of like you going to a conference and this cheesy guy comes up to you and all he can talk about is how cool he is and the sports cars he drives and how much money he makes and how cool he is. And you're like literally going to yourself, give me a gun and let me shoot myself because I want to get away from this idiot, right? And then you try to pawn him off on one of your friends you don't like. Right? We've all been there. Versus if you're chatting with someone and they're talking about, well, hey, tell me why you came to this conference and, tell me what you're struggling with. Who would you like me to connect you with? You're putting the attention on them. And so when you put the attention on other people, they're interested because they're interested in themselves, not you. So stop, like, when people go to your website going, how good I am. Like, if you go to my website, jasonswenk.com, you're not going to see me say, do you want to know how I grew a big and sold an agency? Booyah, right? You're going to see, like, hey, do you want to know how you can possibly grow your agency faster? And would you like to know the plan that worked for me and other people? So I'm putting the attention on them. And so I'm positioning them as the focal point. And then I'm positioning myself as the trusted advisor in order to guide them to what they want. Does it make sense?
Yeah, I watched your video. I really liked it, especially at the end when you say that I am not better than you, but I've been there before you. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you got to think too of, like, what's their problem, right? Well, a lot of times when I work with agencies, they just haven't been to this point, right? It's new. And they're worried about making the right decision or making the wrong decision or not making a decision. And it literally, like, freezes them. Like, they literally go like, ugh, and they're just frozen. And so I want to give them the confidence and give them a plan in order to make a decision and make sure they're making the right one based on our experience that we've gone through in the past.
So how do you help them do the offer, like the offering? Like, are you a membership guy, or like you like them to do a service per project?
It depends on the agency, right? Like, I mean, we work with all kinds of businesses all over the world, from social, Facebook, PR, web, development, traditional, all that. Well, not many traditional because they're too damn slow to take action, right? But, we work with all kinds. So really around the offer, here's the biggest mistake people make is they're pitching marriage right off the bat. You're walking up to your significant other in the future and going, will you marry me? But they don't know you. So that's a huge commitment. You haven't built up trust. You're literally just like, buy my $100,000 a month retainer, and oh yeah, by the way, it's a year contract. If you break it, you owe me $100,000. Who is going to say yes? Who's not crazy and messed up in the head? Like, the people that say yes, you should run. They're going to be a nightmare because everybody else turned them down. But it's about, you have to figure out how can you slice off part of that service, build some trust, help them out. And you build trust by actually helping them, but you're making it a smaller decision. And then you just stagger it, and you just keep helping them and offering them more and more stuff as they trust you.
So you focus only on digital agencies? You don't do any traditional, like, media or like ads? Okay.
Well, no, I mean, ads are digital.
No, I mean
when I say traditional, they're the ones that are just going, let me do a TV spot for you, or let me do a radio spot, right?
Billboards,
they're going to be out of business soon.
Okay. How about the prospecting? Like what's working now? Like how do you help digital agencies get more prospects into their business?
Well, you have to look at what your strengths are, and really you have to kind of have three pillars, right? So you have to have an inbound channel, you have to have an outbound channel, and a strategic partnership channel. If your whole business is based on referrals, and we all know who we're talking about, right? All of you, or most of you, right? It's going to be hard to grow. Like you've probably built a really cool business, and that's great. And if you're happy with where you're at, you don't have to change, right? But if you're not happy with where you're at and you want to be further along, you have to do things a little bit different. And so the problem is with referrals is you're going to get the same business referred to you or lower. You're never going to get the bigger businesses referred to you. And also, you just can't control it, right? And so it makes it very difficult. So you have to have a channel where people are actually coming to you. You have to have a channel where you can actually control it very quickly of going, hey, can you actually help me? Or like, I can actually help you. You know, this is an opportunity that you might not know about. Can I actually help you? Pick up the darn phone, hit them up on LinkedIn, invite them on your podcast, do a Loom video. There's thousands of ways. The thing is most people they're not being resourceful enough in order to reach the people, or they just don't know where to start, right? They haven't made that top list of companies that they actually want to go after. And if you don't make a list, then yeah, I understand it's totally hard because you don't know who you're going after.
If we go deeper into that, like how is the ROI, let's say, of Facebook ads now for digital agencies? How it's working for them?
Well, I mean, that's a loaded question, right? Because it depends on what kind of agency and what kind of clients they're going after, right? It's not going to work for all of them. It just depends on your audience and figuring out, is your audience still on Facebook? You know, Facebook is still one of the most underrated, marketing things you can use in order to get your traffic, but are you doing it the right way? You know, if you're doing it like all these other people out there and doing it like every other Me Too business and saying, go to my opt-in, and you're like using this fake scarcity BS, right? It's not going to work because you're going to look like everybody else. But if you do it to actually provide value with no expectations, then it will work.
So you talk about the types of agencies. Like, have you like identified a certain, let's say, top 3 different types or top 5 different types? Can you tell us more about that?
Well, there's no top ones, right? Because the market's always changing. But here's the deal that always
types. I mean the types of different agencies. Like, what do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, here's the deal. If you, this is a big mistake a lot of people do, is they go, I'm a Facebook agency, I'm a inbound agency. I'm like, well, cool, you're a commodity. And no one cares what you do. They care what you can actually do for them. So if you think more of a solution, like even some of my best clients that are some of the biggest agencies out there that provide amazing like lead generation, that kind of stuff, they used to refer to themselves as a Facebook agency. But they realize is if Facebook takes a hit or people start changing, they are done. And also there's so many people that are saying that they're a Facebook agency. It's like, how can I separate it? But if you can start positioning yourself for the solution that actually solves that particular market's problem that you're going after, now you're starting to eliminate your competition. It all goes back to positioning and how you refer to yourself. Like if someone refers to me as an agency coach, they're going to be punched in the nose. Well, not at first. If they were my clients, they're going to be punched in the nose. I want them to refer to me as helping agency owners grow faster and being that trusted advisor, right? Totally different. Like if someone refers to me as business coach, it just drives me nuts, right? And so there's no like.
Why is that? Why is that?
Well, because I want to look different than everybody else because I am different. And so is everybody else. But everybody else is marketing the same. And I'm not doing that. I'm not positioning myself the same. I'm trying to eliminate all of my competition. So my only competition is cat videos and procrastination. That's my goal. And if you position yourself in the right way, you can actually do that.
So how do they position that? Like also what they say, like we are a marketing agency, and instead of saying we are a niche Facebook ads agency. And
no one cares about it. Yeah, I wouldn't even say I'm a marketing agency. I would say, like, let's say you help clients grow their business. Let's say you're a nonprofit agency, right? Mm-hmm. So then I would say we help nonprofits grow our members, donors, and volunteers so they can spread their message. That would get everybody's attention versus I'm a nonprofit agency that does websites for nonprofits. Who cares? So that's what I'm saying about how to position yourself a new way that gets people's attention. And then your clients, your employees, even you start explaining that to everybody.
One of your blog posts was talking about like how to use 3 steps to use LinkedIn to turn connections into agency clients. Can you tell us how to do that?
Yeah. Well, it's all about just being human, right? Mm-hmm. So figure out who you want to reach out to, actually connect with them. Say, hey, I like what you're doing at so-and-so. Let me know if there's anybody I can connect you with. And then just starting that conversation, right? And then by starting that conversation, then seeing if there's anything there. And if there's something there, then say, hey, just wondering, what's your biggest challenge with what you just told me you want? And then they'll say it. And then you'll be like, hey, I'd love to jump on the phone with you and chat with you for a couple minutes, see if I can help you out or make a recommendation. No pressure, whatsoever. And it's just about helping people, right? If you're helping people, you're not selling them, and it's easier, and people don't put up their guard. Like as soon as I see like a long email to me, like I'm like, whoop, like walls up, like guns are out. But if you like very
targeted, but
email,
in a friendly
it's
way,
kind of like the Trojan horse. I'm like, all right, I'll let you in the wall.
And do you recommend more like agencies to use the strategy calls instead of the traditional lead, generation way of like sending people into a landing page and then, email sequence? And how do you compare those?
Yeah, you got to do it all, right? If you can lead with a strategy call, but you got to position it in a different way. Like if you go like, I want a free 90-day or a free 90-minute consult, I'm like, okay. Like everybody's doing that, and it's just a total sales pitch. But if you're like, hey, would you like to jump on a call with me? I'll map out a blueprint for you and see if you like it and actually charge for it, right? Now you're going to start separating yourself, and then you deliver value to them. Now it's a little bit different. And then you could run Facebook ads to it or LinkedIn ads or AdWords to it. You can run your, have the email supporting it.
So you advise them to mention that they charge for this call.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. So
because everybody's going to be like, why are you giving it to me for free? It's not worth it.
I read another thing about Instagram stories. How do you advise digital agencies to use it to grow their business?
Yeah, it's always changing too. People just want to know more about you, and they want to connect with what you like or what you believe in. People will just want to know more. And so it's not always just trying to sell or be whatever. So share what's important to you, and then more people will connect with you and help you out going forward. So you just need to be you. Just be you. Don't try to be someone else.
So after they charge for the call, like they ask, do you want more? Or what's next to get more business?
Well, think about if you're doing a strategy for someone, you're coming up with a plan for them. And then you say, hey, do you like this plan? And they'll be like, yeah. And then you'd be like, you want me to do it for you? Like, that's my close.
All right. How do you...
And then if it's not for them, and if I can't help them out, then I'm like, hey, I can't help you out.
Do you
go over here?
Do you also recommend to them instead of strategy calls using like webinars or no?
Well, webinars work well, in certain industries. It just depends. Like there's so many different variables in that. Live webinars work, not the recording ones. Like I always hate it when people do recording ones and they make it look real or live.
But some people advise now some marketer says that call it, let's say, master class. Don't call it a fake live webinar. So it's recorded, but it's just a master class. What do you think about that?
I mean, that's fine as long as you're providing value, but don't make it look like a live one. As soon as you were like, hey, tell us where you're all from, and then you have the fake chats like Idaho.
In 2 days, or
like whatever. Like everybody and here's my pet peeve is I'll see a Facebook ad, I'll click on it because I want to know what people are doing. And then it says, oh, the webinar starts on the top of the hour or in 15 minutes. I'm like, come on. And you're telling me it's live? Like, my luck, I just got on it, and if I come back...
But have you thought about it? Like, I feel the same as a marketer. I understand the industry, but have you thought about it from different perspective that based on their testing, it's working for the average people?
I just do it based on how I would want to be marketed to. And if you're going to lie to me in the very beginning, you're going to lie to me on other things, and I don't trust you, right? If you just want to give me, like, I don't do many webinars. Like, I do a lot of videos, and I do a lot of opt-ins, but I give you the video right away. I actually give you the whole videos for the whole series. If you want to go through it, faster, I'm like, yeah, go for it. And people can get value just from my free stuff without paying me. Here's what is a huge pet peeve of mine, and they get you on this long webinar, right? You have to sit through, let me tell you about myself, here's my kids, here's my dog, here's my cat. And then 20 minutes in, you start getting into the content. It is so high level. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, well, maybe I've already stuck around this long, so let me stick around a little bit longer. And then, like, it doesn't get it. And then there's a huge 30-minute pitch. And I'm like, I just wasted my time. Where, like, my thing is I'd rather give someone a 5-minute video that they can go execute on, and then, I'm building trust, I'm building value versus making someone sit on for an hour. Now, if I'm doing a webinar and it's live, I will do a little bit longer, and I will engage with actual comments. And the reason why you would want to do a live one is because the money isn't answering people's question and engaging with them. And so you would stick around asking people questions, but you're trying to help them out. But, I don't know. I mean, that's just my point, because I know all the internet marketers out there, and I just laugh. And, I don't ever, and I won't name any names, but the people that know this business, they know they shouldn't be doing it that way. And they're just preying on the weak, I feel.
Well, some people say that it doesn't make sense, all this sequence of slides and things, but they say that I've been through some of the webinar programs. They say that I've tried to do it the logical way, but it doesn't convert, or I embarrass myself on stage. And always when you do this sequence, it works. So I don't know. It's just based on several, based on their testing. So you're also against the countdown clocks, let's say, and any scarcity, fake scarcity. Definitely.
So you said something key. The people telling you what's working or the ones selling the programs?
If you have enjoyed today's episode, I would like to invite you to check out efficientpreneurclub.com. The Efficientpreneur Club is the right membership for you if you've been working to grow your business for a while now and things aren't happening as fast as you want. If you are tired of generic courses, secretive gurus, and expensive mentors who charge $2,000 to $5,000 a month, then fob you off onto sub-coaches or connect with you in group coaching calls. If you are already stressed out about your business model, sales, productivity, team, and systems. If you are scrambling in the evenings and on the weekends and you never have time for yourself and your family. Those problems are not going to fix themselves unless you fix them today. Why? Because your business profitability and performance are not going to change unless you do, and your relationships and health will continue to be affected. Building and scaling a business becomes so stressful over time, but it doesn't have to be that way. The Efficientpreneur Club is a private and affordable one-on-one business coaching club for business owners and entrepreneurs who want to build and scale their business profitability and performance with less time, effort, and cost, and without risking their freedom. The Efficientpreneur Club will help you take your business to the next level with a private and affordable individual coaching with me personally. I tailor the program to your unique needs. I will help you clarify your direction, set a strategic action plan, and guide you step by step to build and scale your business efficiently. The Efficientpreneur Club will also provide access to an extensive how-to video library, the most highly recommended tools, and a supportive community of like-minded business owners to help you along the way with feedback, encouragement, and advice. The Efficientpreneur Club is the perfect place to be if you want to maximize your profits, minimize your workload, and scale your freedom and efficiency. So check it out at efficientpreneurclub.com and say bye-bye to generic courses, secretive gurus, and expensive mentors.
Right? And so you got to kind of take that, like, if you could look in the back end and see how it's actually really doing for them. Like, I know someone really big that runs, like, sells a course for webinars, and one of my clients actually running stuff for them, and they're struggling with it. Like, it just blows my mind. So, like, just make sure it's a credible resource, and they're not just trying to sell you something on it. That's all I say to people. And you do your own due diligence. And if you get fooled, you get fooled. On the fake urgency, so for a while I've done that. I used to do that with, like, my programs. Are like, I was trying to make them make a decision. And here's what I found. You can make money on that in the short term. You can get today's dollar, but you won't get tomorrow's fortune. Okay? You can get today's dollar, but not tomorrow's fortune. Just made that up. And so, Frank the Tank moment. What happened? I blacked out. And so, what I want to do, I want to separate myself from all these other people doing the fake urgency. And I want to say, look, go back, talk to your wife, talk to your husband, talk to your advisors, talk to your team. I want to make sure this is right for you. And if you have questions about it to make sure it's right for you, hit the little button, chat with me. I'll point you in the right direction. I'll say yes or no if it's right for you. And I've done that so many times. And then they're going to want you more because you're actually helping them out versus, like, come on, you're selling an online program and you're going to close down the cart? I mean, really? I mean, who are you following? And what you'll wind up doing is you'll get a bunch of people that jump in, even if it's that price, but then they don't go through the program. So then they're like, I never get anything, so you're not going to get tomorrow's fortune. Versus, now, if there is truly urgency, so like in some of the things I do, I only take 12 people in a group in like one of my live trainings, or if I do a workshop, I only take a certain amount of people, or like with my one-on-one clients, I only take 10 on at a time. I will let people know, and I'll say, this is not fake urgency, this is real. Like, I only take on 10, I got 8 or 9 or whatever it is, and I just don't want to shock you. So people will believe it a little bit more versus online program fake urgency. And I've fallen into that trap. I've done it. So I can make fun of all of you guys doing it.
I want to ask you about sales. Like, what's working better? Like cold calling, knocking doors, sales team, offline sales team, or like the inbound strategies online? And what's working for the agencies? And how you compare it with your time when you were running a 100 people agency? Like how you were selling that time?
Yeah. So we had a lot of ads at the time, AdWords, directing the major keywords to us for inbound. And that worked really well for us. Like when people would type in SharePoint development or, web design or, branding or, social CRM or whatever it was, we would come up number one. We'd pay for that. But the problem is with the AdWords and that kind of inbound, you're only going after about 3% or maybe 10% of the market because those are people actively looking for you. But here's the problem. There's like 30% of the people that have no idea they have a problem. There's another 30% that's not ready. There's another 30% that just doesn't even know you exist, right? So that how are they going to find you? And that's the beauty about writing content, doing a podcast, doing videos. That's going to work for you and reaching these people where they're at. So then you can get their attention, you can actually help them out, and then they'll eventually come to you. And the biggest thing you have to do with inbound marketing is you have to be consistent and you have to be patient. Look, a lot of people that actually, when people get into this space and they think they can compete and they start trying to duplicate and be other people, they don't have the patience for it. a lot of people that start working with me or like give me kind of the fortune that I was telling you guys about, right? They've been digesting my stuff for 3 or 4 years. Now they're just ready for it. So I'm very patient on that stuff. I'm working on other stuff. But I'm also consistent at the content that I produce, and I know who my audience is. So that's on the inbound. But on the outbound that's working, I mean, it's different for every industry, but you got to think about, you have to make that targeted list of people that you're going to call. You got to think about what's their opportunities, what are they doing wrong, how can I actually help them, and then actually call them up and help them. That's the easiest way. So however you can reach them on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram message, Snapchat, LinkedIn, Loom, whatever, you reach out to them. You knock on show up at their office. If they're speaking somewhere, show up, you're going to be following these guys around because you have a targeted list. You've done your research. You know how you can actually help them.
But like if someone opening a new agency and he asks you like, shall I have a team, like one salesman who do just cold calling or do visits, knock on doors or do inbound? Which one would you pick?
I would not do inbound because it's a long-term play.
Okay.
Right? If you had to pick one. But I would have someone actually picking up the phone or being resourceful enough of being like, how do I get a conversation?
It's more effective,
right?
Faster, yeah.
Well, it's faster and you can control it, right? You don't have to wait for search or Google to rank you. You don't have to rely on Facebook for showing your stuff in the feed that they hardly ever show, right? And then you just have to kind of wait for them to contact you versus if you can just pick up the phone, now you have a conversation.
Do you recommend offline or online employees for a digital agency?
Works for both. It really depends on what fluffs your feathers, right? I have agency clients that are totally virtual. Then I have clients that have huge offices. It just matters on their core values and their personality. We at the time, we didn't have a lot of the technology before 2012 where we could have a virtual. Even though, and we had offices in Charlotte, Atlanta, and Costa Rica. So, but if I could do it over, I'd probably have one central office and then have the core leadership team. This would fit my model now, and then have everybody kind of remote, from that. Because it really doesn't matter if you have the same location, as long as you have the right systems and structure in place to, coach and mentor your team and grow them in the right way.
Well, what's the biggest mistakes digital agencies are doing with the freelancers? Because sometimes it's difficult to control them. They quit, you have like someone who have 2 or 3 freelancers. So we have backups to secure themselves, or how do you, structure that?
Well, it's like anything else. It's not they don't have the right people, or they don't have the right process or the communication. A lot of times it comes down to the communication. It's kind of like I always tell people there's no such thing as a bad agency client. There's only a bad prospect or a bad process. Same thing with a freelancer. No such thing as a bad freelancer that you take on. There's only a bad freelancer that you let in, or you had a crappy process that, didn't allow them to do what they needed to do.
Have you tested, in terms of sales, using call centers to
pitch? They're horrible. They're horrible, yeah. I've had so many people test it. And the reason why is they follow a script, and you just can't follow a script all the time. You have to have someone being able to think intelligently on their own and to react to what they're actually saying.
You couldn't design the script or how to deal with the script, train people, or it didn't work? Yeah.
Anything's possible. You just got to put in the effort to do it. And I'm not saying call centers have never worked. I've never seen it work. So I'm sure some people have got them to work, but it just matters. I've worked with thousands of agency owners, and maybe 25% of them have used call centers. Not one scenario that worked.
For your employees, whether freelancers or offline, can you give us a glimpse of the training that you do for them? How is it? Is it you record videos for the processes, or how do you do it?
Yeah, my style was more of recording videos. So I would pretend even before we would have that employee, I would say, we're going to, I'd pretend someone was right here, and I'd be like, all right, and then I'd go through like me actually training someone to input a client or onboard a client, or this is what we do with Facebook ads, or this is the process that we do for approving a website concept before we send it to the client, or this is the QA, and I literally just record it, and then I'd put it in a folder, or we create a wiki, that when someone started, they could go back through it. Because think about when you're training someone, they're going to remember about this much, and then they're going to forget it. So when someone would come in, and if we brought in multiple employees at the same time, we'd put them through a training program, but then they would also have the materials and the videos that they could always reference later on, because we're always updating it. We're always figuring out how can we be more efficient, or once we finish an engagement or a project, we do a deep dive and a debrief, and we figure out what could we have done better, and then that would adjust the process.
And how do you hire? Like, do you use the usual freelance, let's say for the freelancers, like you use Upwork, or use someone who gets, screen some of the freelancers somewhere in the world, and you schedule interviews and you start hiring?
Yeah, there's lots of good resources out there. And when we did it, those things didn't exist. So where we found a lot of amazing designers, we got on design boards from universities, and we would, tell them the curriculum that they should actually be doing based on what we needed and the tools we were using and the resources, and then they would send us their best. So then we would hire them as interns, and then we'd go on. And so we had the most amazing designers. And then we also had people that, we became one of we got an award, the only award that I ever cared about, like all the other awards are total BS, but we got the best place to work in Atlanta. And so that attracted a ton of talent wanting to work with us. So we always had resumes, and we were always recruiting. And then we just said, when we found someone amazing, I remember this one designer, Max, he was the best designer I still have ever seen. And we didn't have a job for him right then, but we saw this work. We were like, you're amazing. You fit the culture. We just hired him. So we didn't really hire a lot of freelancers. What I do now is, I have this, it was based on a personal connection, and he's in the Philippines, and I'm just lucky his family's huge, and he just keeps referring me to his cousin and that kind of stuff for other stuff. And so that's what I use now. But if I had to do it, there's lots of cool companies, like Free Up is one. They're also a sponsor of our podcast. So Nathan, those guys have done well, and a number of other good ones that you could, find freelancers and stuff like that. But I just didn't.
Do you recommend sometimes, like, do you still work with some of the old guys that you remember good, and some of your friends or marketers comes to you and you say, okay, work with this guy, I highly recommend it?
I do, yeah.
Okay. How do you work now with digital agencies? Like you mentioned, you have a group coaching call or something like that, or how do you work with them?
Yeah, there's a number of different things. It depends on what type of person or how they learn, the better. So if they're like the do-it-yourselfer, I always refer to them as to the agency playbook, which is an online training program that walks them through the 8 systems that I wish I knew about, and walks them through our agency documentation, our process, all the foundational stuff. So that's for that. And then if they're the type of people that want to work directly with me, and they're over $1 million in revenue, then I'll work with them one-on-one. And like I said, I only take on 10 clients that way. And then I also have an agency owner mastermind, AU mastermind, or just jasonswank.com/mastermind. And that's where I put amazing agency owners in there, and I put people in around the same size, so then they have the same conversations and they can help each other, because everybody's always going to be struggling with something that they figured out, or vice versa. And do it. So you do
weekly calls like that, or?
We have bi-monthly calls.
Okay. How do your life and work routine look like now, when you wake up in the morning until you sleep? Yeah,
so first hour and last hour of every day, I don't touch electronics. I just kind of focus on what needs to be done today, or am I prepared for tomorrow? What am I appreciative of? work out, that kind of stuff, just to, get my mind right. And then, I don't have any meetings really before 9:15 in the morning, and then I shut off, other than this one, around 2:15 when my kids get home.
All the meetings online or sometimes offline? Where are you based now?
I'm in Atlanta,
okay.
So most of the time I don't have to wear pants. And but I have been sometimes getting some clients in Atlanta where they actually make me wear pants. So I actually go to them for a couple hours and help them out.
Are you wearing now or no?
No, I'm not wearing pants.
Okay.
I'm not gonna show you. No, I got shorts on.
Okay.
So, but yeah, it's all virtual. Or like if I work with clients in Australia, like tonight I have a call with the Aussies at like 9 p.m. Eastern my time. I'm in New York time, and yeah, it's just cool. And I only work Monday through Thursdays, so life's really good. And then I take off when I want, and I just have the right systems. I have the right team in place, and I just found out what I'm really good at and what I enjoy.
All the team outsourced, like freelancers, or you have an office?
No, we don't have an office.
Okay.
Stacy's full time with me, and then we have a couple of freelancers that help us out. But we're a real small team.
What are the tools or like apps that you use that makes you more efficient with your work?
Infusionsoft is one, and then Asana. But if I was an agency, I'd be using myintervals.com or a couple more robust than Asana. Started using Slack, trying to figure that out, but I cuss Slack all the time. I just like email. But all my agency clients use Slack and they love it. I'm like, I hate it, but I'm just old.
I use WhatsApp instead of it.
Yeah, I don't use WhatsApp, but yeah, Infusionsoft is a major one for us.
Any other hobbies?
Yeah, well, I used to race cars, and that was a lot of fun until I had my second kid. And then now I do a lot of off-roading in my Jeep, where I'll drive to like Moab, Utah, or we're building a place out in Colorado, which has all kinds of mountain trails and rocks that we can climb and explore. So I love the outdoors and Jeeps and running.
Do you have any mentors, like top 3 mentors?
Yeah, I have one. One is Aaron Walker, built a lot of successful businesses, runs ISI mastermind group, and really good guy. And then other people, like Tony Robbins or Gary Vaynerchuk. Those are people I look up to, or Seth Godin. Those are really the only people that I follow and listen to. Yeah.
What's the biggest failure moment in your life, and what did you learn from it?
I mean, I have thousands of them. I learned from all of them, right? Like if you're not making decisions, like I make decisions faster than anybody, but I don't care about the consequences because I know I'll benefit from it or I'll get smarter. So, I mean, if I had to drill one down, I mean, I couldn't even think of it. I mean, it's like every day I make a mistake, but we move on and go for it.
How do you change your, let's say, mindset or like mood when you're upset or depressed? What do you do?
I think of what I'm appreciative of. Immediately changes your mindset, and that's why, like before I go to bed, I always think about like, am I prepared for tomorrow? Did I help anybody? Did I learn anything? And what am I appreciative of? And by asking those 4, I think it's 4 questions. It definitely gets you in the right mood. But when things go wrong, which they will go wrong because it's not sunshine and rainbows. If you just think about, man, I'm healthy, my family's healthy, I got amazing kids. I can do whatever I want. We can go wherever. I mean, it's just an amazing life. And then it's like, oh yeah, this one thing went sideways. Okay, whatever.
Okay. Favorite books? Top 3 favorite books?
Well, I would say this one.
Okay.
Accelerating Your Agency, which is my book.
Do you have it on Audible?
It is, yeah.
Okay,
or no, it's not on Audible. No.
Okay.
Just on what is it? Kindle and Amazon. You can get it, but not on Kindle. But or not on Audible. Other books, I'm not a big reader. The only one that I kind of started reading was this one. right?
Holy Bible.
The Bible. So other books, like I always looked at a lot of books, and when we were writing this one, we wanted to put a lot of meat in it, not just give like the meat in the very beginning and then kind of like fluff it because I got to fill pages. Like, so I don't really like a lot of books. I get an ADD and it.
How do you learn? Like podcasts, blog posts?
I listen to podcasts. Yeah, I love podcasts. So I'll listen to like Pat Flynn's. I'll listen to Gary's, Seth's when he was doing it on a consistent basis. When I have time and that kind of stuff. But majority of the stuff that I learn, I'm just observing people and just like I said, I'm taking action faster than most, and so then I can kind of learn from that, rather than because I don't want to just emulate other people, because then I look like someone else, and then whenever I say something, like for example, a long time ago, I had a show called the Ask Swenk Show. Immediately when I say that, you're going to think, oh, Ask Gary V Show, and you're going to think of Gary versus thinking of me. So that's why I changed it to the Swenk Today Show. And so, I started realizing that I was like, oh, I can't digest that content that much because I don't want to look like, someone else.
What would you advise your younger self if you have the chance?
Patient and consistency, and just go execute. Don't worry about what other people think. Just worry about what you think about yourself, because you know the truth, right? You can't BS yourself. You can BS other people, but you still have to live with yourself.
What makes you really happy?
Family, spending time with them, and seeing the success that I've helped people with. That gives me the significance again, and just sharing the knowledge that I've had, and then just sharing that with people, and then them being able to adapt it to their own and just get amazing results if they actually take action. And it's just amazing. Like there's no better feeling to do that. And even with my kids, and that's why I create so much content. I do it to help out people, but I also do it for my kids. So when they're older, if they ever want to do something like this, which my youngest will have to do his own business, he'll never be able to work for anybody. He's like me. And then he can kind of look back and look at these videos or the audios, and then they'll be like, oh, that's what Pops would have said. So
do you are they all focused on digital agencies, or some of them are general?
My kids?
No, the videos, I mean, the content.
Oh, the video? Oh, yeah. Well, the Swenk Today Show is mainly focused on agencies, but it can be applied to any other kind of business as well. Now, the Smart Agency Masterclass, the other show, is totally on agencies, where I interview agency owners and talk about their stories and just highlight them. So then everybody running an agency knows.
So one show is interviews with agency owners, and one show is just you talk. I mean.
Yep, that's right.
All right.
Yeah.
Last question. Really appreciate your time, Jason. Really enjoyed the interview with you. How people can contact you?
Swenk it. Swenk.it. SWENK.it. And it links to both my podcasts. And then, some other little cool stuff in there. So just Swenk it. Or you can go to my regular website, jasonswenk.com, and check out all the stuff. But Swenk it always sounds better.
Thank you so much, Jason. Really appreciate it. Thanks,
Definitely.
everyone. Be efficient and stay efficient, and see you soon with another leading expert. Thanks for watching or listening. It means the world to me if you would leave an honest review of the show on iTunes or any other podcast platform that you are listening through. And big thanks to all the people who have already reviewed the show.
Discover how to build and scale your business profitability and performance with less time, effort, and cost. Check out Efficientpreneur.com.